Ever wondered how a psychopath thinks, acts, or even lives among us? Let's delve into the world of psychopathy, a complex psychiatric disorder that's more common than you might think. Characterized by persistent antisocial behavior, diminished empathy, and bold, disinhibited, and egotistical traits, psychopathy is a fascinating topic. And it gets even more intriguing when we examine real-life cases. From boardrooms to your neighborhood, psychopaths are around us. So buckle up as we traverse the intriguing world of psychopathy. Remember Dexter, the fictional character who was a blood spatter analyst by day and a serial killer by night? This captivating character from a popular TV series has undeniably reshaped our understanding of psychopathy. Dexter Morgan, with his charming personality and seemingly normal life, has painted a picture that psychopaths are not just cold-blooded killers, but can also be regular folks with a dark side. Dexter's character shows us that psychopathy is not always about violent tendencies, but can also involve manipulation, lack of empathy, and superficial charm. This portrayal, while intriguing, can be misleading. In reality, not all psychopaths are serial killers. Some might be living among us, leading perfectly ordinary lives while hiding their psychopathic tendencies. So, while Dexter may have made for compelling television, it's important to remember that his character is a dramatized and fictional representation of psychopathy. But let's move from fiction to reality, shall we? Ever had a boss who seemed a little off? Now brace yourself for the chilling world of corporate psychopaths. These are no ordinary manipulators. They are masters at the game, often charming their way to the top with a veneer of charisma and apparent competence. Take a moment to recall that seemingly perfect manager who always knew what to say, who could charm the birds from the trees, yet left a trail of chaos and discontent in their wake. That's your quintessential corporate psychopath. They're not wielding a bloody axe, but a sharp wit and a killer instinct for office politics. Their playground? The corporate ladder? Their toys? Power and control? Their victims? The unsuspecting colleagues and subordinates who get caught in their web of deceit and manipulation. It's a real-life horror story unfolding in the heart of corporate offices worldwide. And speaking of charm and manipulation, let's delve deeper into the fascinating yet terrifying world of psychopathy. Jordan Belfort, ever heard of him? Let's dive into the intriguing life of the real-life Wolf of Wall Street. Belfort was a master of manipulation, using his charm and charisma to build a brokerage empire worth millions. His insatiable pursuit of wealth, power, and pleasure, without any regard for the ethical or legal implications, paints a vivid picture of psychopathy. Belfort's extravagant lifestyle and reckless disregard for others were fueled by an intense lack of empathy, a characteristic often associated with psychopathy. He played the stock market like a fiddle, swindling countless investors out of their hard-earned money. And all the while he reveled in the chaos he orchestrated. Despite his eventual downfall, Belfort's story is a stark reminder of how psychopathy can manifest in the most unexpected places. It's an example that not all psychopaths lurk in the shadows of society. Some strut down Wall Street, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. But not all psychopaths are in business or crime. Have you ever been fooled in love? Ah, the bitter sting of deception. Psychopathy isn't limited to the business world or crime shows. It can sneak into the most intimate corners of our lives, including our romantic relationships. Take love fraud, for instance. It's a chilling phenomenon where psychopaths manipulate their partners emotionally, spinning webs of deceit to control and exploit them. Their modus operandi? Feigning love and affection, creating a whirlwind romance that sweeps you off your feet. They're masters of disguise, skilled at playing the role of the perfect partner. But beneath the veneer of charm and passion lurks a cold, calculating mind, always scheming, always watching. These individuals are adept at identifying vulnerabilities, exploiting them to maintain control. The consequences can be devastating, leaving victims emotionally and sometimes financially drained. It's a grim reminder that not all monsters lurk in the shadows. Some are closer than we think, masquerading as our greatest dreams, only to become our worst nightmares. But what about the psychopaths who hide in plain sight? Do you know a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? They're not just characters in a novel, but a metaphor for the duality of psychopathy. Psychopaths can be like chameleons, blending seamlessly into society, their true nature hidden behind a well-crafted facade. They may seem like the everyday person, charming, charismatic, even empathetic. They're your colleague who's always ready with a friendly smile, the charismatic speaker who captivates the crowd, the caring neighbor who's always there to lend a hand. But beneath this veneer of normalcy, there's a Mr. Hyde lurking, a different side that's manipulative, remorseless, and devoid of empathy. This is the true face of a psychopath, carefully concealed under the guise of Dr. Jekyll. The ability to switch between these two personas is what makes psychopaths so dangerous. They can cause harm while remaining undetected, hiding in plain sight. And sometimes they're just next door. What if your neighbor was a psychopath? Now that's a chilling thought, isn't it? But it's not as far-fetched as you might think. Psychopathy isn't always characterized by the Hollywood stereotype of a serial killer or a criminal mastermind. Sometimes it's much closer to home. Consider the case of the charming neighbor. They always have a smile on their face, they're the life of the local barbecue, and they'd lend you a cup of sugar in a heartbeat. But behind closed doors, they could be exhibiting classic signs of psychopathy, manipulation, lack of empathy, and a grandiose sense of self-worth. And it's not just your neighborhood. Psychopaths can be found in all walks of life, from the boardroom to the sports field, from the pulpit to the podium. So the next time you're at a neighborhood gathering, take a moment to look around. But what if they're not just your neighbor, but virtually everywhere? Ever come across a troll on social media? Now let's dive into the murky waters of social media psychopathy. It's no news that social media platforms have become a playground for all sorts, including those with psychopathic tendencies. These individuals use these platforms as tools for manipulation, control, and unfortunately, harm. Imagine being able to puppeteer the emotions of hundreds, even thousands, from behind a screen. The power to incite anger, sow discord, or manipulate emotions, all from the comfort of one's own home. This is the reality of social media psychopathy. It's like a game of chess, where other users are the pawns, moved around by a player who feels no remorse or empathy for their actions. But it's not just about trolls or bullies, it's about those who craft perfect yet deceitful lives online, playing on people's insecurities and desires. They manipulate perceptions and influence behavior, all while hiding behind a digital mask. And what about those who lead masses? Ever heard of a charming and manipulative cult leader? Let's delve into the realm of psychopathic cult leaders, where charisma and manipulation become deadly weapons. These individuals possess an uncanny ability to prey on vulnerabilities, bending minds to their will. Take, for instance, the case of Jim Jones, the infamous shepherd of the People's Temple. Jones was a master manipulator, exploiting the fears and hopes of his followers to create a terrifyingly loyal congregation. He led over 900 souls to their demise in the tragic Jonestown massacre, a testament to the horrifying power of a psychopathic cult leader. Or consider Charles Manson, the sinister puppeteer of the Manson family. Manson's charisma and manipulative tactics convinced his followers to carry out heinous crimes, the echoes of which still reverberate today. Cult leaders like these wield their psychopathy like a sword, slicing through societal norms and morality. They're not just in religious communes or secluded compounds, and sometimes they're even in politics. Ever doubted a politician's sincerity? Well, you're not alone. Many politicians have been known to exhibit traits associated with psychopathy. These traits can include charm, charisma, and a knack for manipulation, all wrapped up in a seemingly trustworthy package. Consider this. A politician needs to be able to sway the masses, to convince them of their visions and promises. This often requires a certain level of cunning and emotional manipulation, characteristics not too dissimilar from those of a psychopath. However, it's important to note that not all politicians are psychopaths, and not all psychopaths are politicians. It's a complex dance of traits and behaviors that can sometimes blur the lines. Remember, psychopathy isn't necessarily about being evil. It's about having certain personality traits that can be both beneficial and harmful, depending on the context. But isn't it fascinating to think about the possible overlaps? But let's bring it back to pop culture. Ever wondered why true crime podcasts are so popular? It's because they tap into our fascination with the macabre and the unthinkable. They offer us a peek into the minds of psychopaths, individuals who exist on the fringes of our understanding. These podcasts often feature real-life cases, making us realize that psychopathy isn't confined to fiction. It's a chilling reminder that monsters can exist in broad daylight. Before we wrap up, remember to If you're finding this intriguing, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's the best way to stay in the loop with our deep dives into the human mind. Your support helps us bring you more thrilling content. Now back to psychopathy. Ever heard of an artist with a dark side? Art is a gateway to the soul, but for some it's a window into a mind fueled by psychopathy. Take, for instance, the renowned yet notorious figures in history who've used their artistic prowess to mask their destructive tendencies. These individuals, from painters to poets, have left an indelible mark on their respective fields, while leaving a trail of chaos in their personal lives. As we've seen, psychopathy is not just a fictional concept. From corporate moguls to your next-door neighbor, psychopaths live among us. Today, we've journeyed through the realms of fiction and reality, exploring the many faces of psychopathy. From the blood-chilling Dexter effect to the deceptive charm of corporate psychopaths, we've seen how psychopathy can manifest in the most unexpected of places. Yet whether it's on Wall Street or social media, these intriguing individuals continue to captivate our curiosity. Remember, not all psychopaths are villains, some just have a different way of experiencing the world. That's a wrap on our exploration of real-life psychopathy. We appreciate your time with us. Brace yourselves, because the next journey takes us to the intriguing world of cognitive biases. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and catch you in the next video.
Savored this video, fancy another? Click the on-screen video for an even deeper dive into fresh territory. Your support is like a warm cuppa on a brisk day. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, ring that bell for the latest content. Cheers for watching.